The Retreat, Season 1, Episode 2. Let's get into it. The episode begins where the last episode left off. Trey Howard was reading December to 5th. I was so glad when they decided to end the game because it was so draining. Chuckled a little when Ariel said that the retreat was going decently smooth. Child, where was I when everything was going smooth? We know what we saw, and ain't nothing going smooth. One thing I noticed about this episode is that every single time that Trey Womack was brought up in a scene with Reese, it was very triggering for him. I don't understand the depths of what happened in between Trey Womack and Reese G. It had to be something that really was damaging because by the end of the first day, Reese was reduced to tears. As I predicted in my first recap, we do see that Eric James is a tad bit shady. Eric James had so much to say about different people. He was throwing a lot of shade at this guy named Robert, who is one of Dior's very good friends. Robert, who is in the process of being filmed for Chasing Dallas. It's not even on the retreat, yet his name is being brought up. There was some online drama last week with one of the cast members on the retreat, and Robert had to go live. The story behind Robert was supposed to film the retreat, but he ended up not being able to film the show. Instead of filming the retreat, he decided to film with Chasing Dallas. Eric James not realizing that he was bad-mouthing this person to his actual friends. This is why you have to be so conscientious of feeling the temperature of the room before you start to speak. Eric, I need you to use more wisdom. And even though, I don't think that what he said was that serious, it was still shady, saying that, oh, you never seen a nail technician with a grill. He's getting money. He has a legal job. If that's his hustle, that's his hustle. You're talking about when you go and get your nails done, that the technician who's doing your nails doesn't wear a grill. So that's the reason why you're making the comment, child bye. One person I forgot to mention in the first recap was Resilient Titan. He is the host of the retreat, and anybody that knows anything about retreats, there is always somebody who is there to either be the voice of reason or a therapist, and I feel like that's why he's there. While they were playing the game, Reese G got so upset and decided to take his anger out on December, which I didn't find fair because it was just like, why are you mad at December? He was doing the same thing everybody was doing, but I think it was because he brought up Trey Womack during the conversation that he was having with Reese, and you could tell by the body language that Reese was uncomfortable. So I think that's where that anger came from. Everybody was acting silly, not paying attention, not doing the game. But I think that's the reason why he turned on December. It was like a retaliation somewhere in his subconscious to go and attack December. But that's just my personal opinion. Even though Reese went off on December, you could tell that he's really invested into this retreat. He has a deeper purpose of why he's doing what he's doing. He's had so many issues with people. He has gained friendships, lost friendships at a very fast rate. And he is tired of it. And I understand how that feels like, Reese, because you open yourself to help people and then they just turn their back on you and then talk about you like a dog. So, I understand that. And you can see that he's clearly overwhelmed on why he's feeling the way that he's feeling. You can see that he's not only financially invested, but he's also emotionally invested. And I felt so bad when he said to Aria, I just don't want to end this retreat with you being my only friend. Oh, I understand what it's like to be in that position, feeling like you only have one friend. It made my heart break when he was talking, and you could tell that he genuinely feels that way. And that's one of the conversations that people have about Reese, that he can't keep friends. He doesn't know how to be a good friend. And I think that he actually does know how to be a good friend. It's hard when you bring in genuine friendships into major projects or do major projects with your friends, and they end up using you and then turning their back on you, turn around and just destroy you or try to destroy your name, it's very hard. It's a very hard pill to swallow. My heart went out to him in that moment because he worked so hard behind the scenes, and for people to treat him the way that they treat him, they act like he purposely is doing things, when you know that when you sign up for these shows that there's going to be drama, and that you agreed to be a part of the drama, and Reese can't protect you or shield you from the drama because he's your friend. At the end of the day, it's a business. I hope that he does have lasting friendships by the end of this retreat project. But I don't think that's going to happen with the guy, Eric James. Now, I'm going to have to talk about you, Trey Howard. You had a whole bunch of carbohydrates and eggs. I was like, where is the bacon? Where's the sausage? Where's the, the fried fish? I was looking for more. You gave the girls rice, biscuit, eggs, cereal, and orange juice. From what I saw. I can't come at you about you cooking rice for breakfast because I'm Jamaican and Jamaicans eat rice and stewed chicken for breakfast. So I can't come at you with making rice, but I wanted to see the protein. The eggs was the only protein there. Let's talk about Eric James real quick. You like to stir the pot, right? Now, that whole scene when y'all were having breakfast, I did feel like Eric James was ganged up on to a certain extent. But the problem is, Eric James, when you talk a lot of trash about a lot of people, and those same people happen to be in the same room at the same time, everybody's going to have questions for you. And the thing that's so mind-boggling is that you turn to Reese and read him saying that he's not a good friend, and you thought that he would have your back. Eric, you admitted a few minutes before that comment that you talked about him, and in the words of VCG, you slayed him to other people. And he didn't show up to your pop-up shop. And instead of talking to him, you talked about him, saying that, oh, well, I guess what everybody was saying was true about him. He's really like that. You didn't have a conversation to know why Reese didn't show up. And then you're going to turn around and say to him, oh, but you're allowing these people to attack me. I thought you was my friend. But hold on. You are talking two sides out your mouth. How can you say that, oh, he is a terrible friend, and then when the kitchen gets hot, you turn around and you say, you're supposed to be my friend? Are you bipolar? Do you have multiple personalities? Because last time I checked, you just told Reese that he's not a good friend. Nobody can defend that. You started that whole fight with Dre Sember and Trey Howard, and you went back and told Dior that Dre Sember was talking about him, but Dre Sember was talking in general, which in all actuality, he was talking about them indirectly. But the fact that you said that he was specifically talking about them was not true. One thing I will say about Dre Sember, he is very careful and very articulate. Somebody like Dre Sember, you can't play in his face. You cannot play in his face. He knows what he said. He knew what he said. And he knew that he was being indirect. No need for him to say Trey Howard's name or Dior's name to know that he's indirectly talking about them, because he was talking about those two professions. We all know that it's indirect shade. So you played into the very hands of Dre Sember. So you allowed Dre Sember to put a battery in your back, and he ended up winning. So congratulations to Dre Sember. He was smart enough to get somebody else to do the dirty work. And the fact that Eric James can't seem to not talk about almost everybody, and also to talk about people who are not even on the show, you didn't realize that you were in the enemy's camp. And what I mean by the enemy's camp, I mean that you are the only person in the room that's not ally with the person that you're talking about. Because everybody in that room was allies with Robert. Eric James, why would you call Dre Sember a roach and then say that he turned tricks for $2? Now I'm seeing that you hit below the belt. Eric James did apologize for causing the confusion in between Dre Sember and Trey Howard, but the group wasn't done with him yet. He ends up walking off when they continue to ask him questions. Eric James, it's a reality show. So of course, whatever you say will be used against you. And these are things that you said to other people that went back and said it to VCG. and things that you have said on camera. You said it out your own mouth and you were approached about it. You're going to have a difficult time in this house, and it's only day 2. Dre Summer went from being dragged to come out victorious, and now you are the topic of discussion. You don't like the heat? Then stay quiet so you won't have to be put in the kitchen. I'm just saying. All right, you guys, thank you for watching my latest recap on The Retreat, Season 1, Episode 2. Hopefully, I'll see you next week. Ciao.